All right, this question has no real math at all. It's purely conceptual. We just need to think about what this word means. What does it mean for something to have exponential growth? So you got to memorize this. This does come up, and very often on the SAT we are asked to compare linear growth, which is constant, so that would be something like this, versus exponential growth, where the growth grows. Okay, so that's kind of the way to think about it, is it's not a straight line, there's a curve, and as you move along the x-axis, the curve gets steeper because it's increasing the increase. So the first thing that you might want to do is look for something about percentages. For whatever reason, percentages are the way the SAT tends to test growth, and exponential growth specifically. So we see that we have three choices with percentages, and choice D is the only one that doesn't have it, and that is the most obviously wrong answer here, okay? That is linear growth. We're going by 100 each year, I guess, yeah, each year. So that means the growth is constant, okay? Constant, and that is what linear growth really is. Beyond that, though, we have to think about how these percentages are being used, because choice A is very tempting. And again, if we're lazy, we've seen this before in this test, if we're lazy and we don't read all the answer choices, it's very likely that we pick A thinking we've solved the puzzle. That, oh yeah, exponentials have to do with percentages, this involves percentages, check, I'm done. But we have to be careful. It's 2% that's getting added, but it's 2% of the initial amount, meaning that that's not going to change. If the initial amount is $100, then that's $2 the first year, the second year, the third year. It's $2 every year. The growth is still constant because the amount isn't changing. Same thing with choice B. It's 1.5% of the initial amount, and this additional $100 doesn't really change the fact that it's still constant. It's the same amount being increased each year. Whereas choice C uses the percentage and adds in this key piece. We are increasing by 1% of the current value. So this year I'm, making, or there's a certain amount in the savings account, and then we increase that by 1%. So if it's $100, then okay, 1% would be an extra dollar. But next year, I don't have $100 anymore. I'm not taking 1% of $100. I'm taking 1% of $101. And that is going to increase. At first, it's not going to seem like a lot. It'll increase a little bit. But as you move along, you're going to see bigger and bigger jumps, and eventually exponential growth, the way it works is it, kind of just at a certain point starts to take off. And so that's the power of a percentage, is it's not just it's not just a percentage of a fixed amount, it's a percentage that is going to grow each year. So that's kind of confusing if you've never really experienced exponential growth in school, but it's a very important concept on the SAT. So we're really trying to just make sure we have these definitions down, the differences between linear growth and exponential growth, constant growth for linears, and this kind of increasing growth for exponentials. Definitely an important distinction.